Christmas is supposed to be loud, family, laughter, chaos. But this year, all I wanted was silence, time alone. No expectations, no explanations. I work in a corporate office, nothing glamorous, junior staff. The kind of job where you blend into the background, keep your head down, and count the days until the next paycheck. December is supposed to be festive there. Strings of lights draped across cubicles, inflatable Santas in the break room, coworkers wearing reindeer antlers unironically. Everyone pretending the fluorescent lighting doesn't drain the magic right out of the air. I wasn't feeling it. Not the holiday spirit. Not the forced cheer. I smiled when I had to, nodded along to conversations about cookie exchanges and year-end bonuses. But inside, I felt like I was watching it all from behind glass. I didn't know that a simple corporate tradition, one I almost skipped, would leave me wishing Santa could rewrite who I am forever. Because when I opened that box, something else opened too, and I haven't been able to close it since. And the strangest part? It wasn't the dress that scared me. It was how right it felt. Before we dive in, please hit that subscribe button and join the Gender Diary family for more heartfelt stories about discovery, transformation, and love. And I'd love to know, what time and country are you watching from? Drop it in the comments below. It always makes my day to see where our stories reach. The annual gift swap. It's been happening at our office for years. Everyone participates. You buy something within the budget. Nothing fancy, nothing personal. Wrap it up, toss it in the pile, and draw a number. Pure chance, pure chaos, pure holiday tradition. I almost didn't join this year, but skipping it would have raised questions. Why aren't you participating? Are you okay? Don't you like Christmas? So I went along with it, bought a simple soccer ball. Nothing creative, nothing that would make anyone remember who brought it. I wrapped it carefully, taped the edges down, kept it anonymous. I thought I was giving something forgettable. I didn't realize I was about to receive something unforgettable. The day of the swap, the conference room was packed. The gift pile sat in the center like some kind of strange altar. Boxes wrapped in gold and silver, bags stuffed with tissue paper, oddly shaped packages that could have been anything. The energy in the room was high. People laughing, teasing each other, making bets on who'd get stuck with the worst gift. I stood off to the side, arms crossed, half listening. My number was called. I walked up, grabbed a medium-sized box wrapped in glittery red paper, and sat back down. I didn't shake it. Didn't try to guess. Didn't care, really. I didn't open it there. Everyone else tore into theirs immediately. Whoops of laughter, groans of disappointment, the occasional genuine surprise. But I just held mine, waited. I didn't know it yet, but waiting until I got home changed everything. The rest of the day blurred. Meetings, emails, small talk by the coffee machine. I left the office early, the unopened box tucked under my arm like it weighed nothing. It didn't feel important then, just another thing to deal with later. Cassie wasn't home when I arrived. She'd mentioned something about visiting her sister. I had the place to myself. The quiet felt good. No music. No TV. Just me and the hum of the heater kicking on. I set the box on the kitchen counter and stared at it for a while. Why hadn't I opened it at work? I don't know. Maybe I didn't want an audience. Maybe I wanted to process whatever it was alone. Maybe some part of me already knew this wasn't just another office gag gift. I peeled back the tape slowly, lifted the lid, and stopped breathing. Inside was a dress. Not just any dress. A Mrs. Claus outfit. Red velvet. White faux fur trim. Pom-pom buttons running down the front, complete with red thigh-high socks and a Santa hat. I lifted it out carefully, like it might disappear if I moved too fast. The red velvet caught the light. Rich, warm, almost glowing. It was softer than I expected. Heavier too, the kind of fabric that feels intentional. The white faux fur along the neckline and cuffs was clean, festive, almost innocent in contrast to the boldness of the red. I ran my fingers over the pom-pom buttons. Playful, deliberate. This wasn't a joke gift. Someone chose this. Someone wrapped it. Someone thought this was a good idea. And standing there, alone in my kitchen, I felt something shift. Confusion, yes, but also curiosity, a strange, quiet calm. I held it up against myself, just to see, just to imagine. The hem would fall mid-thigh, the sleeves would hug my arms, the fur would brush against my skin. And without planning to, without thinking it through, I whispered out loud, what would it feel like? I didn't decide to put it on, I decided to stop saying no. It was more like allowing myself to stop deciding not to. I walked to the bedroom, closed the door even though no one was home, laid the outfit on the bed and stared at it for a long moment. Then I undressed. The dress slid over my skin like it had been waiting for this. The fabric was cool at first, then warm. It fit, not perfectly, but intentionally. Feminine. Deliberate. The velvet hugged my waist, the hem grazed my thighs, and the fur trim rested softly against my collarbone. I sat on the edge of the bed and pulled on the red thigh-high socks, slowly, carefully, rolling them up over my calves, past my knees, smoothing them against my skin. They were warm, soft. They made my legs look different, longer, elegant. I placed the Santa hat on my head. It was lighthearted, almost silly, but it grounded me, kept the moment from feeling too heavy. I stood up and looked at myself in the full-length mirror, and I felt it, a quiet hum inside me, something familiar yet unexplored. Something that had always been there but never had permission to surface. I wasn't pretending, I wasn't joking, I was discovering. But something still felt unfinished. My eyes drifted to Cassie's vanity in the corner of the room. The mirror. The makeup. The wig she sometimes wore for costumes or nights out. I walked over, sat down. The chair felt different beneath me now. The wig was blonde, long, wavy strands that caught the light when I picked it up. I turned it over in my hands, feeling the weight of it, the softness of the synthetic hair. I placed it on my head, adjusted it, tucked the edges, smoothed it down, and just like that, my reflection changed. I stared at the person looking back at me. She looked real. I reached for the makeup. My hands were hesitant at first. I'd never done this before. Not like this, not for myself. Mascara. I blinked carefully as I brushed it on, watching my lashes darken and lengthen. Blush. Just a little, enough to add warmth to my cheeks. Lipstick. Red. Bold. I traced the color over my lips slowly, precisely. When I pressed them together, I felt something click into place. Then I saw them. Cassie's heels. Red. Patent leather. Sitting by the closet like they'd been waiting. I slipped them on. The unfamiliar balance. The way my weight shifted forward. The way my calves flexed just to stay upright. I stood. Took a step, then another. The sound of heels against the floor. Sharp, confident, unmistakable. I stood taller, not just physically, emotionally. I turned back to the mirror, locked eyes with myself. Not shock, recognition. This wasn't a stranger. This wasn't a fantasy. This was me. A version of me that had been waiting in the shadows, quiet and patient, for permission to exist. Confidence, stillness. Relief. For the first time, I wasn't imagining who I could be. I was seeing her. I stood there, fully dressed, fully present, and thought, I wish Santa could make this permanent. Not the outfit, not the makeup, or the wig, or the heels. But this feeling, this clarity, this version of myself that felt more honest than anything I'd worn before. I thought about Cassie. What would she say if she walked in right now? Would she understand? Would she see me? Really see me? Or would she see something that scared her? Something that made her pull away? I wanted to be seen, but I was terrified of being misunderstood. Because once something is seen, it can't be unseen. The thought of permanence wasn't just about me. It was about us, about whether there was room in our life together for this truth. Whether love could stretch wide enough to hold all of who I was becoming. I stood there wondering, what would she say if she walked in right now? Would she see me or lose me? I didn't have an answer that night. I still don't. What I do know is this. Some gifts arrive wrapped in glitter and tied with ribbon, and they're exactly what you expected. Easy, safe, forgettable. And then there are the gifts that arrive unexpected, uninvited, the ones that crack you open and show you something you didn't know was waiting inside. This wasn't just a Mrs. Claus outfit. It was a mirror, a question, a beginning. I don't know what happens next. I don't know if I'll ever have the courage to show Cassie. I don't know if this moment was a glimpse of who I'm meant to be or just a beautiful, fleeting fantasy. But I do know this. I'm not the same person who opened that box. That quiet I wanted at the start of Christmas, I found it. Not because nothing changed, but because something finally did. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the best gifts aren't the ones that fit neatly back into the wrapping. Maybe they're the ones that change you, the ones that won't let you go back to pretending. So if you're watching this and you've ever felt something stir inside you, something you couldn't name, couldn't explain, couldn't ignore, I see you. You're not alone. Some gifts are meant to be returned. Others change you forever. If this story resonated with you, leave a comment, share your thoughts. Subscribe to keep following these stories of becoming. Until next time, keep becoming. The end.
The Gender Diary exists to light that path with shared stories. Whether you found connection in this narrative, you're on your own journey of gender exploration, or you're here seeking understanding, your subscription fuels our mission. Every subscriber empowers us to keep illuminating these authentic experiences for our community. Kindly drop a comment below. Your voice adds to the tapestry of experiences that makes this space meaningful. Until our next story unfolds.